Hi all. In this session, we are going to study about VSAT. So in the last session, we have seen the application of satellite in military system, and I have explained six different areas where how the satellites are very helpful in the defense system, in the operation of defense system. Now in this session we are going to study about the VSAT as well as WLL communication network. What is VSAT and how it is going to operate, how it is going to be installed, how it is going to be implemented, and what are all the application of VSAT. So these are the things today we need to concentrate. Let us see one by one. VSAT is acronym of very small aperture terminal. Aperture means the open mouth of the dish antenna is called aperture. The area of open area which is pointing towards satellite, the circular open area which is pointing towards satellite is called aperture. Now very small aperture terminal used for satellite communication is called VSAT. Now it can be defined as a small telecommunication earth station. So this is installed on the earth to transmit as well as receive the signal from the satellite, and physically it's very small. That's why we call it as a small telecommunication earth station that receives and transmits the data, voice or video via satellites. So what we can understand is VSAT provides the facility of transmitting, receiving voice, video and data through the satellites. As we have other facility, terrestrial link facilities, wired structure facilities, similarly VSAT is a wireless facility which communicate through the satellites and provides these information to be transferred as well as received. Now if we come to see the diameter of the VSAT, it's a very small component. The size of VSAT dish antenna is typically about 60 centimeter to 3.8 meters, which is comparatively or relatively very small compared to very big antennas which we were using earlier days for the satellite communication. So what change VSAT has introduced in the satellite communication? Earlier we had the satellite communication. So what is the reason to choose the VSAT? Basically, the first thing what we can observe from the VSAT is it brings the services directly to the end user. It acts as a interface between the end user and the satellite. So hence we don't require others to be interfere. It directly collects the data, collects the information from the users and directly communicate with the satellites. Simultaneously, it accesses the data from the satellite and given it back to the users. So that is how it brings the services related to voice, video and data. How it's going to do this? It does this through reducing the hierarchical distribution network. For any network or for any distribution of data, we have certain hierarchies. Just like tree, we have the root, we have the stem. Through the stem we have the different branches, and different branches we have the different leaves. That is the hierarchy of a plant. Similarly, data is going to be distributed in different hierarchical system, and that hierarchical system is reduced by the VSAT by providing point of service. That is, it going to take data directly from the users, and it does this through leapfrog technology in the developing countries. Leapfrog technology refers to WLL, which we are going to see later. Now, who should subscribe to VSAT? We have one VSAT setup. Who can get the services of VSAT? Who can avail the VSAT applications? See, VSAT present the new alternatives to the problems of conventional fixed terrestrial communication beyond the PSTN areas, and it can also help to design the communication business to the following sectors. For example, financial as well as banking sectors. We know we have certain disadvantage in terrestrial communications, and especially in hilly regions where it is quite difficult to laying the cables, and where the population is scattered. We can't expect the population in one particular area. You can find in hilly regions it is being scattered. Having a cable to each and every house is quite difficult. The practical implementation is difficult, and with respect to cost, very huge amount is required. So in those particular areas, VSAT is giving very best alternative because it doesn't require a terrestrial link. What it requires to implement very small dish antenna which is directly connected to the subscriber network, whether it is home network or office network, which can be directly connected to the satellite through VSAT. As we are using DTH services for TV broadcasting, in the same way those DTH services are receive only terminals, RO terminals. But here, by using VSAT, we can have two-way communication. We can send as well as receive the data concurrently. We can have the access to the internet. We can upload and download the files. All this is possible through VSAT. And who are the beneficiaries? Now it's being listed. Government agencies can use VSAT applications. Manufacturing sectors, mining and exploration, news agencies, shipping and freight handling, travel and tourism sectors, and agriculture companies. So these are the areas who can avail or use the services of VSAT, which is very advantageous for them if we go for VSAT. As I said, it's a very small aperture terminal. A new development in the communication satellite world is the development of a low-cost microstation. So earlier we had the microstations. If you have the visit to the early microstations, you can find a very large antennas have been installed there that occupy the very large area. Indeed, 30 meters, 40 meters antenna we require, and those antennas, dish antennas, are there for having the communication with the satellites. And if each and everyone needs to install those antennas for different applications, it's quite difficult in the cost manner, in the area. They are very difficult. And those antennas were used in C bands. They are working with C bands. When the engineers, designer, they thought the alternative for that, they came with an idea of VSAT. It gives plenty of advantages. First of all, it operates in KU band with the diameter of only 1 to 2 meters. Very small dish antennas are required, and the transmitting power, high transmitting power of 1 or 2 watts. So these are the basic advantages of VSAT facilities. How we can implement the VSAT? VSAT can be implemented in two ways. First, in a star fashion, where centrally we place a hub. VSAT acts as a hub, and from all the corners, from the different places, through a cabling structure. It's being connected via routers. So that is how we can operate VSAT in a star fashion. And some implementation, we can use VSAT as a mesh where each VSAT is capable of communicating directly with any other VSAT. Network controls and duties of the hub can be carried over any of the VSAT or master control. Station duties are shared among the VSAT. So here in mesh, different VSAT, they have interlinked. They are interlinked to share the data as well as resources. Information is produced at the hub having very large 15 to 36 foot antennas. If VSAT is acting as a hub or is installed in star fashion, the antenna size is 15 to 36 foot antenna. The hub controls and monitors the networks through NMS. NMS is Network Management System. It controls the overall activity of the network. The information is sent up to the communication satellite, which receives, amplifies and beams it back to the earth for reception by the remote VSAT. So here hub is going to collect the information from the different parts of the office, of the different location, through the link cable, and finally it pointed towards the satellites, where satellites amplifies, receives the signal, amplify it and transmit it back towards the VSAT. So that is how VSAT is going to operate. The earth stations are usually organized in a star network which connects to the central hub via geostationary satellites. Earth station is basically a VSAT which is connected through hub, the switch which collects the information from the different parts. Here data rates on the links are up to 256 kbps. VSAT systems are used to link the business and stores to the central computer system so that the sales transaction can be completed more rapidly than by using telephone line and modem. So here all the data required are going to be stored in the memory, so which can be accessed as and when required. In many VSAT systems, microstations don't have enough power to communicate directly with one another via satellites. The hub is used to relay the traffic between the VSATs. Hub is a special ground station with large and high gain antenna. Because it needs to send the signal, it needs to share the signals to the different places. We need high gain antennas for this purpose. This figure shows how the different satellites across the globe. They are communicating with VSAT facilities. You can have the wave. We have the inclined orbits. In different orbits we can place the satellites, and they in turn have the communication with the VSAT. Conventionally, the traffic from the individual users is multiplex, and they are going to be sent through trunk lines via terrestrial microwave stations, terrestrial microwave systems, satellite systems, and through cables. Redistribution of the user traffic is done by demultiplexing at the destination. This is still more economical transmission architecture for point-to-point communication. VSAT networks take this advantage of wide area broadcasting capabilities of geostationary satellites to achieve the same goal. So any transmission requires multiplexing at the transmitting end and demultiplexing at the receiving end. Similarly, the same thing can be achieved through the VSAT, and it uses geostationary satellites to achieve the purpose. So what are all the components required to install or implement the VSAT? Here you can see this. We need one outdoor unit as well as one indoor unit. Outdoor unit consists of a dish antenna and feeder for that. You can find the feeder. We have the different types of the feeder through which we can feed the signal to the dish, as well as we can receive the signal from the dish. So that is outdoor unit. Indoor unit requires a hub, as you can see in the figure. So this is the VSAT Earth station. Outdoor facility have a dish antenna with one feeder, and if you come to the inter facility or indoor facility, from the dish antenna we have a connection to the hub, and hub is going to connect it different parts of the office to fulfill their requirements. You can observe in the figure. So hub is connected with the computers to some servers, similarly to the database. Hub is going to store the things in the database. So here we are having two-way communication. It gets the data or information from the different parts, sends it to the satellite via the outdoor unit of VSAT, and what all the signal it receives. It receives the signal, demarks and sends it to the appropriate direction. So that is the functionality of hub. This is how our VSAT system works. Here also you can see the subscriber VSAT dish. One side we are having geostationary satellites. It is connected to ISP servers, and another side it is connected to VSAT facility. VSAT dish antenna communicates with the satellites to access the web servers, the service providers. Similarly, it transmits the data from the subscriber end through the routers. Subscriber can be a home subscriber or from the office network. So different subscribers are connected to the router. So their data is routed through VSAT to the satellites. So this is the basic setup of any VSAT facility. And very best advantage of VSAT distribution, data distribution, is wireless local loop, WLL. Wireless local loop is a system that connects the subscribers and the switch using radio signal instead of copper cables. In the previous link you have seen the subscriber is connected to the hub or router via cable, but some places it's quite difficult to have the connection. In wireless local loop, the local area is connected not through wire but through wireless. See, in cable TV you have the cable connection for each and every home, that is wired media. That local area can be connected without using wires through wireless facility, and that can be achieved by using VSAT. VSAT take the signal from the satellites, and in turn it uses different antennas to share the signals among the different users through wireless transmission. Here subscribers are connected to VSAT earth station through wireless media. They don't have the connection with wires. So this is very much helpful. And geostationary satellite links the large number of VSAT with main switching center in the large city. Big cities, we can have WLL facility that can be used for voice, video as well as data transmission. So this is one kind of broadband connections which uses wireless as a media, and very helpful to cover good area, good population without having wired connections. Here each EVSAT acts as a link to the local switching center in a village or rural community over the WLL. So VSAT directly provides the communication through wireless facility, and it is very helpful especially in rural areas as well as hilly regions where it is cost effective, where The laying of cable is very costly. This facility is very helpful. So this is the picture which shows how the different VSATs can be used to cover the different areas. VSATs are directly connected to the satellites, and in turn they are connected with the office or home or area through the routers. So here the different routers are connected to the VSAT. This figure shows how the VSAT as well as WLL communication networks is going to be operate. If you keenly observe the figure, see this VSAT WLL combination can be used for different applications such as video conferencing, telephony, internet access, private networks, distance training educations, and similarly we can have the VSAT gateways also. All those applications can be easily achieved by using VSAT or WLL. If you come to the applications of VSAT, we have the plenty of applications. It is an ideal satellite network that provides the communication support to the various applications. We can't restrict it to very few. It supports very wide range of applications. First, few applications have been listed over here. First is order entry billing, financial management, data processing, and reservation systems, telemetry and data connections, news wide services, virtual private networks that we call as VPNs, distance educations, high speed internets. So these are the applications where VSATs are widely used, and apart from the listed applications, we have the VSAT application in many other areas. So that is how in this session we come to know that what is VSAT, what are the applications of VSAT, what are the advantages of VSAT, and how the VSATs are going to be installed and implemented. So these things we have come across in this session. Next session we go in detail in study of the different wireless systems used in these generations, as well as the mobile communication, cellular communications, different aspects of cellular communications we are going to see in detail in the last unit. Here I conclude this session.